Hi Risers, it's Coach Tina here, back for another video. Today is going to be a little bit of a different reaction. As you've probably read by the title, it's going to be my own reaction to my voice audition back in 2015. I was 22 years old, and I believe Jessie J and Ricky Martin were two of the 4 judges that were performing, that were coaching in that season. I was very young back then, and it was the first time that I had progressed through to blind auditions on The Voice. As you guys probably are aware, or maybe not aware, there are about 5, 6 stages before you even get to blind auditions, and they cut people through each stage. So prior to that, I'd already gone through interviews and photos and workshops and the actual video audition and the meeting with the executives and all that stuff. So there's a bit of background for you. So let's watch it together and we'll talk about it. It's going to be really weird watching myself, but here we go.
Right now, the search for The Voice takes us to Sydney's northern beaches, to the family home of 22-year-old Tina Alcaraz.
Say that again.
Who goes by the stage name Miss T.
Okay, cool. So what you're looking at here is like a pre-video before my audition. It was really cool. I lived with my family and my grandmother for like 15 years in her house and looked after her, and that's where we were. We were at my grandmother's house, and this was my little bed studio room, and basically they came over with their camera crew, traditional Italian. We gave them like coffee and tea and biscuits and everything, and then they said, right, we're just going to record you kind of doing what you would normally do, but of course when there's a camera in your face you do get a little bit quirky, a little bit funny. So I played a song that I knew, which was supposed to be Hurt by Christina, but as you can see, they put in the part where I stuffed up the chords, and I was nervous because they were they were watching me and recording and just saying like, be yourself. But at the time I was like, this is weird, like having a camera crew in my room asking me to act natural, but I did the best that I could. And this is a pre-interview. What I liked about this is they weren't trying to get any story out of me or anything like that. They just wanted to know kind of what I go through on a regular basis. So this is what you're watching now.
Miss T is my alter ego. It's about
My
being
God, I'm so
fierce.
young.
It's about having an attitude. If I wanted to be sexy or something and I'd do it now, I'd crack up laughing, I'd go red. But if you put me on stage and give me the right song, I don't know what happens.
I'm talking really fast because I'm nervous.
I work really, really hard in my studio with bed. And this is where the music happens. This is where
there's Mojo,
I
my
record
guitar.
it, edit it, and then I put it up.
It's actually
on YouTube
behind
at
me, I
night.
think,
Hey
on the wall.
guys, it's Miss T here, coming to you from my studio. Lady Gaga has their monsters, and Miss T's gonna have her mystifiers.
Oh, that was so corny. I laughed at my own corniness. Anyway, there's my family.
Set on making the leap from the...
There's my family. We actually made these custom shirts because we're like, let's go all out. And we had to, like, massive long red carpet, and we had to say action and walk forward and, you know, talk amongst yourselves and things like that. And we got these custom made shirts, I've been mystified, which now I find laughable, but at the time it was about getting into the spirit of it, having a good time, and having the most important people with me walking down the red carpet.
bedroom studio to the big time, Miss T arrives with her family and boyfriend Ricardo.
How are you feeling about everything? Good?
I'm good, I'm feeling pumped. Live audience, live band. So I'm gonna give it all I got.
Well, all the best today. Break a leg.
Alright. 1, 2, 3. Miss T!
I was very nervous, but I was excited.
This dream, it started off as a little flame growing up. Now it's like an inferno that needs the opportunity to explode.
Now, this is going to be a really interesting story. I'm deciding whether to tell you after or before, but basically, to give you a little bit of a background, obviously that interview part at my house was a different day. On the day, I got a call to be at the Fox Studios at, it's going a while now, 3:30 to 4 a.m. in the morning. I had to be there. So I got up while it was still dark, and we're driving there. We got can't remember now if a bus took us up. It was a while ago, but yeah, we arrived at Fox Studios and we were ready to check in at 4:30 in the morning. Now, usually they do that in sections, and you've got like a morning, afternoon and night section of when you would do your live auditions. And you know, we were told that I would be in the morning, so I thought, okay, I've got to plan this out. Now, anyone that knows, when you are auditioning or you're performing, you need to find time and space to warm up. There would have been no point warming up at 4:30 in the morning because I had no idea when I was performing, and it would have not done anything if I performed at 9 a.m. in the morning, you know? So I wanted to kind of get a gauge of when I'd go on stage and then warm up about an hour beforehand or so. So we get there, and basically a lot of waiting around, photos, a lot of interviews, some publicity that they do beforehand. We had like this common room at the time where there was food. They served breakfast, which was really nice, and snacks and water. And it was around probably about 10 a.m. by the time we finished all that stuff. And they said, all right, guys, we're going to start the show and we'll call you as we go. And during this time, the second lot of people were turning up, and I was like, okay, this is a bit odd. So I asked one of the runners that worked at the show, and I said, you know, do we know when I'll be going on? Will there be a space, because there was no space, will there be a space or somewhere that I can warm up, even if I can just go outside? Now the idea is that they wanted to keep everybody contained, of course, because they know where everybody is, so we couldn't really go gallivanting anywhere. It had to be staying within the area. They said, yeah, you'll have plenty of time to warm up. I suggest you have some lunch. You're going to be in the afternoon. And I was like, okay, no worries. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, for a 4:30 a.m. call, I'm like, that's a really long time to wait for a performance. I'm like, that's interesting. Maybe I got moved to the second group. Anyway, it was an experience. So I thought, okay. So I was there with my family, had a little bit of bite to eat. I don't really like eating a lot before performing. Long story short, it turns out I didn't actually get a chance to warm up, because at the time that they said that I would warm up, it actually wasn't that time. It was I think it was about 4 o'clock or something ridiculous where I was performing. 2 o'clock. I was performing at 2 o'clock. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to do my warm-ups now and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, no, didn't happen. So basically, what happened is around 2 o'clock or so, I got on a little buggy and I drove to the other studio where the actual stage and live audience would be, and the judges and all that stuff. And I just tried to do my warm-ups on the buggy, tried to do them silently in the green room, but you can't really be too loud in the green room. Tried to do them when I went to the bathroom earlier that afternoon. Anyway, so we're in the green room, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how long have we got? And they said, oh, you know, we've got, you're not going to be on for a while yet, about 45 minutes or so. I was like, okay, cool. And I said, if it's all right with you, I'd like to go to the bathroom. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm nervous, I have to go to the bathroom like 50 times. It's just the way that I deal with my nerves. So I had to go to the bathroom, and a guy had to actually accompany me. So he was a runner. And like I said earlier, you can't really go anywhere without someone with you, because they always want to know where their talent is. So the bathrooms were kind of like halfway between the two studios that I was in the green room, and it was those demountable bathrooms. So he waited outside and he said, okay, go on. And I thought, okay, cool, I'll see if I can do a bit of warming up in here, even if it's just 5 minutes, something, and I'll go to the bathroom. No word of a lie, not even joking. I went to go close the door to commence doing my business, for lack of a better description, and the guy comes in and knocks on my door, and he goes, and quite frantically, and he goes, Tina, goes, you're on now. And I was like, you just told me it was 45 minutes. And I was like, okay. So I still went to the bathroom because I had to go. And then the guy kind of like grabbed me by my wrist gently, and we ran to the green room. But it wasn't like sit down, it was ran to the stage door. And then there was like a little setup here, which is what you're seeing now, where I had to pretend to fix my hair up, but I was out of breath, and I was trying to calm my nerves and also calm myself from running. I didn't get a chance, and it was a very interesting reality check for me, because I knew in that time that this is probably not going to go well. And I know some of you are like, oh my God, don't be so negative. But you just know. I was singing, after so many like suggestions of what song I should sing, I wanted to do like a blues R&B song, and I ended up getting picked to do Megan Trainor's Lips Are Moving, and it was a little bit faster, and it had to be faster so that we could get the 1.5-minute part in of our audition. So I already knew, I was like, oh no. So like, I'm out of breath. I'm like, this is going to affect, and anyone that knows, it will affect pitch. If you are exhausted and tired from running and doing all those things, and you haven't got that quick stamina kind of push back to normal, you know, heart rate fast enough, it can affect your breathing and your breath support. So I was like, oh no. But I thought to myself, you know what? I already know what's going to happen, but instead of like beating myself, I'm just going to go and have fun, bring it my all with the situation I was given, and see what happens. I took a big breath, the doors opened, and this is what happened.
I want this a lot, and I think the voice is that.
Meanwhile, backstage, Miss T has her sights set on one coach in particular.
Miss T is my alter ego. She's very fierce, she's sassy. This is me, this is what I'm about, and hopefully it's enough to turn Jessie J. But having said that, if any coach turned around,
I couldn't even speak. Stunned. They were so nervous for me. I can feel it. I was just saying, girl, breathe. Just breathe.
Your lips are moving, your lips are moving, your lips are moving, and you're nah. Boy, look at me in my face. Tell me that you're not just about this bass. You really think I could be replaced? Nah, I come from outer space, and I'm a classic girl. I'ma hold it up. You're full of something, but it ain't love. What we got straight overdue. Go find somebody new. You come
So now, just around here, I was thinking to myself, just let it go. Like, have fun with it. Remember the words. Like, feel what you're singing, and whatever happens naturally will happen. So I kind of just gave it all to the stage. Didn't try too hard. Didn't try to overdo it. I just kind of went, this is the situation I'm in. Let's just see what happens. So here's what happened. They're so nervous. It was really interesting because as I was doing those notes, I was like, nah. And I actually thought to myself, I'm like, if anyone turns around for this, they're crazy. Because as I was singing, I was like, oh dear. I'm like, this is, in my head, this was everywhere. Definitely not a true representation of what I could do. And it's very daunting and intimidating when you have the nation looking at you, and you know, people that are credible musicians in their own right, and you're just like, wow, that was a poor representation of what I do. But the things that I love watching this back is like Jessie J dancing, having a good time, and I wasn't surprised when they didn't turn around. There was an ounce of hope that I thought maybe they could see past what they just heard, but that's not how they do it. So let's see what they say.
What's your name?
My name's Tina. By Miss T is my stage name.
Miss T.
I'm 22 years old and I'm from the Northern Beaches, Sydney.
Can I be really honest with you?
Of course.
I really want you to go and work on your breathing. Everything that was wrong was because you weren't breathing right.
You know how bad I want to say, like, Jessie, girl, let me tell you what just happened. But you don't do that. You don't make excuses. Even though it might be the truth, you don't make excuses. I was 100% like, yes, yes I do. I'm like, I need to build up my stamina so that if I ever have to run, I could be like Beyonce and just sing flawlessly. But I was just like, girl, you 100% right. But I was like, just listen, it's all cool, it's all cool. Just listen intently. So that's what I was doing.
Out of pitch, you had almost 3 different voices from the beginning to the end. I actually
Placement.
thought it was a duo.
Okay.
It was good. Make it great. You can be better.
I know.
And that's
Thank
exactly
you.
right. And when I went, I know, it was like a whole heartfelt, like, I know, like that was terrible. It's very interesting when you do these, because when you look back, you overjudge yourself and you're like, did I come across conceited there when I said no? And did I come across this there? But yeah, I was wholeheartedly like, I know I can do better. I'm like, it was not even good in my opinion, but she was being just lovely. Let's hear what they say.
My problem, why I didn't turn,
Yep.
was that it was a little bit of a blanket. You know, like I kind of felt like you need to pierce through the wall of sound so I could feel something.
Right.
Work on tapping into the...
Yeah.
Onto the soul.
Tapping into the soul, girl.
Music is a feeling. Ad-libs don't just happen. Don't be the artist. Be yourself in the music.
And I loved that, be yourself in the music, absolutely loved that. It was very interesting here because there was a lot more that was said. I got the impression that Delta was kind of making fun of my name. And I think at one point she said, why don't you mystify yourself off stage? Which obviously at the time in a sense of vulnerability, you don't necessarily take that in the best light. Same thing, I'm glad that they probably cut that because it probably would have poorly represented Delta, who has been said to be a very lovely person. I don't know her personally, but that was a bit of like a, oh, that wasn't very nice. And after this as well, there was some more talking, which I'll tell you about in a sec.
So we're getting all girly on you right now. The 2 girls are like, yeah, this.
Like, I feel like I need to sit like this as
This
well.
is the
like,
best coaching lesson I'll ever get. Isn't that right? Like,
Thank
look
you.
at that. That's the best advice.
Now I had some, I was trying to hold back tears because the last thing that you want to do is cry. So me trying to like open up my eyes, I was like, pull it together, girl. Like, pull it together. It's all right. Like, I was my own best friend inside. I was like, girl, you fine. You all right. So that's why I was like, oh, you know, best coaching you'll ever get. I was like, don't get upset. Don't get upset. So I was trying to pull myself together. Yeah. Okay, so just before that cut where I hugged Jessie J, she's beautiful, right? A couple of things that happened that weren't actually viewed on TV. After I sung Lips Are Moving, Jessie J asked me to sing something else. And I believe I sung How Come You Don't Call Me by Alicia Keys. And by then I would have calmed down. I wasn't, you know, running around doing anything crazy. And there were no comments on my voice. It was kind of like, like we already turned around, we can't change our mind. And they enjoyed that performance and they could see it wasn't a performance issue. But then after that, when I got off stage and I was hugging everybody, I hugged Ricky as well, which he's so sweet and so lovely. He said the same thing, I have a lot of potential and I was really lovely and I've got a beautiful voice, but they didn't show that. Jessie J actually came up to me and no word of a lie probably spoke to me. It was like a break in the production and she probably spoke to me, no word of a lie, probably for about 10 minutes or so. And she was giving me some heart-to-heart advice about picking what you feel you should sing. I have a feeling she knew that I was trying to be convinced to sing something more modern, which at the time, Meghan Trainor's song was like, just came out not long ago. And she said to me, she goes, you've got a lot of potential. She goes, you remind me of me. And that was something that really kind of spoke to me and something that made the whole experience worth it. It was nice to have a heart-to-heart. It was nice to be speaking to someone that can not only sing phenomenally, but have the same humble personality and be honest with me and be truthful and actually give me advice I can walk away with and think about and sit with. And that's exactly what I did. It was an amazing experience. It was very hard, what I'm about to show now, walking in to my family. I just wanted to remain positive. So this is what happened.
Good attitude.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Mister!
I feel like I won.
You did.
I feel like I won. You don't buy that advice. Far out. That was awesome. Oh, you did well. Hey, thank you.
And that's exactly what I meant. The little chat that they didn't view is what was like gold to me, and absolutely loved it, and I learned a lot. And then it was something that when I walked in, I was like, you know what? For me to be on that stage, even though nobody turned around, I think I was in the top, I did it, the calculation once, I was in the top 180 in Australia at that time, which to me is an accomplishment in itself. Now, ever since then, I have been working more behind the scenes on these shows. I continue to go for these auditions. My advice to any singer out there is don't let auditions like this be the be all and end all of you and your career and how far you go. Just do it as an opportunity, because at the end of the day, you've got nothing to lose. All they're gonna say is no, and you go, okay, thank you, but that's not going to stop your growth and your success and your singing abilities. If anything, it's gonna make you stronger, because you get used to being rejected. Rejection is such a big part of my life. I've always been told no in majority of the auditions, and it's just made me a lot stronger. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, comment down below, let me know what you'd like to watch next, and I hope you are safe and well wherever you are in the world. And I hope you enjoyed this audition. I'm sure if I had to do that all over again, I would have changed a lot of things. And who knows, maybe it will in the future. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Rise above and love. Mwah. Bye.